Hi everyone, this is directions for your About Me essay. So starting off, this is your prompt. So your prompt says, who are you? Compose an essay that accurately defines a single definition of who you are as a person. This definition should explain who you are by providing background on your life, an analysis of your character and personality traits, and a focus on both your future educational and career goals as they relate to this single definition. So you want to use one word to define who you are. Throughout this essay, we are going to practice the parts of a formal paper. So we are going to be using a formal introduction with a thesis statement. You're then going to have three main body paragraphs where we're going to be writing on the Toulmin model, which will be a model that we're learning throughout this first couple of weeks, and then a concluding paragraph. So that's kind of the basic structure. This kind of walks you through all of the parts. So you will have a history section where you're going to kind of help me understand who you are, how you came to be this person that you are, but you're also going to pinpoint two examples from your life that's going to help me see this definition of who you are. And I kind of give you examples throughout here. Your second paragraph, body paragraph, is then going to be your character analysis. This is where you're going to identify at least 3 personality traits that help evolve your definition of self. And then your last body paragraph is then going to be your futures paragraph, where you're relating your education and future goals back to your definition of self. There is the outline example. I highly recommend that you read this first. This walks you through every single sentence of the paper with an example, and you will have to fill out an outline that looks exactly like this. So I recommend to students to have my outline open as they're working on theirs. So if you're like, man, how do I write this thesis statement? You can read through mine. So for example, here's my thesis statement for this paper. A passionate leader is a true definition of who I am and can be seen through my history, personality, and future goals. So you can see that I identified one definition of myself, passionate leader, and you can see how I'm going to prove that in my essay is by looking at my history, personality, and future goals. Hint, hint, your thesis should look very similar to mine, okay? So use mine as a guide. If you're not sure what a topic sentence for your history paragraph should look like, read through mine. Okay, so I kind of filled it out for every single paragraph, or at least gave you kind of sentence starters to try to see where I was going for. So you can see it all the way through conclusion. So the sample outline is really helpful. So please make sure you use it. I also wanted to provide you with prior student examples. They're not like just A papers that I'm giving away. They have strengths and weaknesses within them. They are just student samples. But I wanted you to see the Toulmin model. I wanted you to see organization, things like that. So those samples are there as well. And then you do have your rubric, so you can see exactly where your points are coming from. There's no surprises here. So the essay is out of 100 points, and you can kind of read through each item to see what am I grading you on. So for example, a whole letter grade, moving you from, let's say, an A to a B, because it's worth 10 points, is the Toulmin model. So you mastering that concept throughout. So your rubric is there. Again, read through the instructions. I kind of hope they help you. And then, of course, my sample outline should also see you through. Throughout this essay, you can kind of see in your future weeks that we will be following the writing process. So it's not just write. You can see that we are going to do a brainstorm, and then I'll teach you about thesis and Toulmin model. And then we move into the outline. So then you start outlining this as well. And then we move into drafting. Okay, so it is kind of stair-stepped for you a little bit, so it's not too overwhelming. So I hope that helps you understand the About Me essay. As